Okay, well, I see that our next speaker is in the room, and Kathleen, I will let you bring in this goddess. I have had many opportunity, and I actually am working with this incredible woman. For those of you that are enjoying and are going to enjoy our new Entrepreneur Day Planner, this woman is in the back end infrastructure of putting that all together. I get the fun stuff. I get to talk to you ladies and get your quotes and put you in and give you a video and all that good stuff, but she makes it happen. We always need people to make it happen, and she's a make it happen kind of lady. So I know I get to introduce you and talk so often. I thought it'd be a nice opportunity for you to be introduced and interviewed by Miss Kathleen Carlson, who in her own right is rocking the world. So I'll let you two ladies take it away.
Very nice. Well, I'll tell you what, if you are into profit optimization and technology, then you're really going to want to listen up to everything she has to say. Here, let me introduce her properly. After spending over 2 decades climbing that corporate ladder in America and the higher education sense, Melanie McSally set out to bring her engineering and leadership skills to entrepreneurs and small businesses. And now, I love this, she is a self-proclaimed homeless person running her tech company, Wise Tribe, from around the world. How lucky is she? Listen to this. Freedom is her currency. Finding a better way is her motto, and her mission to help heart-centered business owners live out their challenging way to build a better tomorrow. How awesome is that? Melanie's also a bestseller multiple times over, an international public and motivational speaker. Something you don't know, she holds a Lean Six Sigma black belt. I don't even know exactly what that means. She's won numerous awards for disruptions in her industry, and her lifestyle is designed to showcase that purpose and freedom can actually live in harmony and balance. She's here today to show us how to leverage our intuition, technology, and automation, and to serve more while doing less. Isn't that what we all want to do? So welcome. Her topic today is aligning the power of three. Now, I've heard about the power of three several times. I'm very curious to see how you're going to tell us about that today. She's listening to Atlantis Morissette, all things Atlantis. And this I love. This could be me. She was once standing beside Steven Spielberg for like an hour and a half and had no idea who he was. Talk about an insult, right? I love it. Bring you down to who you are. And she came bearing gifts today, of course. So listen up for her talk. You'll want to put your name in, your email in, and the answer. And here's what you're going to win. Her one prize to everyone is tickets to her Way Business Series kickoff event. Awesome. And the one-to-one VIP is going to win a VIP ticket to exactly that. So very cool. Melanie, take it over. Tell us what you've got to tell us. I'm so curious.
Well, as you'll find in this talk, I do everything my own way. So whatever you've heard of the power of three, I promise you it's not what I'm going to talk about today. This one is about your power of three and all that is within you and how to leverage that in order to ensure your own success and have everything that you want in life. But before I get into that, I just want to say thank you to you, Kathleen, as well as you, Deb. You guys bring such an amazing group of people together each and every time. I'm not super active in the chat, but I do read them all, and those are my little daily doses of inspiration. So thank you so much. I know that I don't have to tell all of you that are here all of the amazingness that is being a part of this 262 group, but I want to give you something that might be different than what you thought about of why I think it's amazing. And that is that it forces me to be selfish in a multitude of ways, right? Like, I'm sure you all feel the same ways. We show up to this event, we get our cups filled, and we feel refreshed, and we feel like we've got to be selfish for a day, right? That's probably common. You can put a 1 in the chat if that's you. If I look off to the side, that's where my chat is. So just so you know. But the reason why I feel like it's a great way to be selfish is because when I was in my corporate higher ed career, I became known as the girl who got bleep done, right? I never missed a deadline. I always hit my milestones. I got stuff done. I made things happen. But if you went back to 2023 and you asked Deb, how does Melanie do with deadlines? She'd probably say, I don't think there's one she's hit. And there's a reason for that. It's because with this 262 event, everything that Deb asks us for, tell me if you can relate with, something in the chat, is that it forces us to go inward so that we can show up, stand up, and speak up for ourselves. Now, I am great at showing up, standing up, and speaking up for other people, as Deb said, of getting things done for others. But when it comes to what do you want to say, and what free gift do you want to give, and what music do you listen to, I'm like, it took me a minute. And also, I am definitely the cobbler's daughter. I innovate, I automate, I put things in place for other people, and I probably have the worst for myself. And if I think about that to other people, to every person I've ever worked with or even just communicated with in business, there is a common thread. Nobody, and I mean nobody. So you can call my bluff if you want, but nobody does as good for themselves in their own area of expertise that they do for others, myself included. And so 2023, sometimes I forget what year I'm in, and then leading into 2024 really was an introspective year for me of like, what are you going to create for yourself so that you can give them to our audience on the stage? And so every time, I mean, I spoke 4 or 5 times last year, and every single time I was like, oh, right, I got to build something. And so that's what I did all year long. I built, I delivered, I built, I delivered for myself. I got to be selfish. So that's one of the reasons why I love this event. And so thank you, Deb, for blessing me with the gift of allowing me to be selfish. All right. So I want to go back a little. I want you to imagine with me, if you will, a 4-year-old, a tired, cranky 4-year-old that's being told what to do. And they're not just being told what to do, they're being told to do something they don't want to do. And so their response is to cry out, I don't wanna if I don't have to. I'm from Boston, so we all have a little Bostonian accent in us. We change our R's to AHs. And this was said in my family by my sister 2 years before I was born. So it's as much of a mystery to me as it is to all of you of how this became my mantra in life. It also is sort of an inside joke between my mom and I, so you'll see it as a thread that interweaves in and out. But the truth of the matter is that we can all relate to the statement. I know it's backwards, and that's what makes it funny, and that's what makes it so true. Is, tell me this, if you, and I know somebody was talking about health and dieting earlier, is like, maybe you want the ideal, if you will, body, but you don't want to do all the exercising. You don't want to do all the healthy eating all the time. I mean, healthy eating is good, but to do it for every single meal of every single day, maybe that's not your cup of tea, right? So you want the result, but you don't actually want to do the things you have to do to get the result, right? Or maybe you're in a different boat. Maybe you want a relationship, the perfect ideal relationship. But the thought of going on dates in this digital age, you're like, no, not me. I don't want to do that, right? Or maybe you're like me and somebody told you in order to get leads, you have to create a boatload of content and post on social media every single day in the hopes of getting some leads. I don't wanna if I don't have to, right? So there are a multitude of ways that we can look at this phrase and think, yeah, the universe gives me all these options and I don't like any of them. So for me, when people used to say, follow those before you, do what they did, I'd always be like, but do I have to? Because I don't want to do that. And I'm just going to check because I want to see how many of you can relate. Like, I don't want to do that. If I think about my life, I can come up with dozens, if not thousands of examples where somebody told me I had to do something in order to achieve something. And I thought, I don't want to do that. I want to have that thing, sure, but I don't want to do that, right? And so I thought, well, what if I just did it my own way? What if I came up with some alternative options, right? So I can think of many examples throughout my life of when that happened. The first one is when my mom was like, you must get a college degree. And the thought of sitting in a classroom for another 4 to 5 years after I'd just done this for 12 years, I was like, that sounds boring. I don't want to do that. But she really wanted me to get a college degree. So I thought, how can I give her what she wants and not do what I don't want to do? So I went to baking university. Right? So there are ways to get what you want without doing it everybody else's way. Now, later on, I did go to engineering school, but I started out going to baking university. So when I think back to all those examples throughout my life, I have to admit that there aren't nearly as many examples then as there are in the entrepreneur small business world, right? Some of the myths that I've debunked. You have to work a lot of hours and really hard in order to be successful. Nah. That's not why we got in this business, right? We got in this business because we wanted freedom. We wanted freedom from those telling us to do things we didn't want to do, and we wanted more money, and we wanted more time with the people or doing the things we wanted to do. None of those things to me say work hard and work a lot. So there's got to be another way, right? If you can't have both, so there's got to be another way. Okay, so then you think about, okay, here's a good one. There is a precise sales model that you must follow in order to acquire leads and convert them into paying clients. Yeah, but it wasn't working for me. So if it's not working for me, it's probably not working for others, which means there has got to be another way. So I found one, and then I started teaching it to other people, and voila, we have a whole new way of doing things. Okay, so let's bring it back to something we can all relate to. 262 book. Dev gives us this task. Come up with 2 words, then write a personal story and a business story. This is how it translates into my head. 2 stories. They're going to be on print forever. This is going to live on longer than I do. I change my mind frequently. What could I say that will always reign true no matter who I want to be and what I want to do? Then Dorothea, amazing person that she is, and just true to form of how the universe is so wonderful, reminds me of what my 2 words are because I came up with them a year ago. Be liberated. Be liberated. Great. I'll tell a personal story about how I found freedom in life, and I choose freedom as my currency in everything that I do. Okay, task number 1 done. Be liberated. I'll write a business story about finding freedom in your business and how you can always have freedom no matter what freedom looks to you. So then I had these two quite beautiful short stories about being liberated and how you could have my example in your personal and in your business life. So maybe you can find your way of being liberated in life and in business, right? So these are just examples on how you can take something that somebody gives you, boundaries that they give you, you can stay within those boundaries and you can still find your own freedom. You can still find your own way. Okay, so fast forward, I'm being called to step more into my intuition. Now, I've been known as the fixer, tech expert, all these things, but most people had no idea that I was great at manifesting, using my intuition, all this stuff. And I was kind of keeping it to myself. And I was being called to do more coaching. And this was something that I was not like, I was like, no, I'm not a coach. I don't want to be a coach. I don't want to do coaching. And so I was thinking, how could I, because, my intuition was telling me, lean into coaching, use more of your intuition. And I was like, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I mean, I don't want to lean into coaching. I do want to use my intuition, but I need to figure out how to do that. And so I was brainstorming, I was innovating, I was doing all of this things. And I was trying to think, how could I honor this quest that's come to me, but do it in a way that resonates with me? How can I move into being the person I'm called to be, right? Live as it. So I started calling myself the intuitive tech consultant, intuitive tech CEO. So I asked my mom, what do you think? And she says, what the heck does that mean? And I was like, I don't know. So every time anybody would ask me, what are you working on? I would say, I'm working on figuring out how to marry together intuition and technology. Oh, what does that mean? I don't know. So I would just keep working on it, keep working on it, keep working on it. So one day, my mom and I are driving in the car. We're talking about things we don't want to do. And she says, I don't want to if I don't have to. And it just hits me. All of a sudden, it hits me. Oh my God. I was thinking about it all wrong. What I needed to think about was the characteristics of technology and the characteristics of technology, right? So I got asked to teach a course on manifesting. And at the same time, I was innovating products and I got asked to teach another course on intuition. And I was thinking about like how to build the content for delivering these courses. And I was like, I don't know how I do these things. I mean, like intuition, innovation, problem solving, all these things. These aren't things I learned. They're just things I do. It's like the Nike model, And so to prep, I started reading books on the subjects. I started taking courses. I started going to events. And ironically, crappy things started to happen in my life. Like things started to go wrong. It was almost as if learning how to do these things started making it impossible for me to just do them naturally. And so when my mom said this to me, I had this aha moment of like, oh, I know it's wrong with manifesting and intuition and law of attraction and all the things. One, what the heck is divine timing anyway? And what CEO would run their business like that? I didn't miss a deadline. Divine timing just hasn't happened yet. No CEO can do that, right? Second, get into the frequency of the thing you want. What does that even mean? What is the frequency of money? What is my frequency? And how do I align the two? I don't know. I started actually looking up, what is the frequency of money? Do you think that's written anywhere? No. Okay. So then the third thing is live as if it's already happened. And this is like be in the emotional state. So align your mind, your emotions, and your actions together to achieve the thing that you want, right? Have you ever tried to be in the emotion of something you want while actually being in the reality of the exact opposite? So, like, for instance, what would it look like if I was rich and famous, but yet right now, the only people that know me are bill collectors, right? So it's like you're faced with this reality of looking at your bottom line, but you are trying to bring in while you're just focused. It can't be in two different emotional states at the same exact time. So what if I could track divine timing system? What if I had data to prove I was in a certain frequency, and then what that frequency was, the thing that I want, and then how to get from here and there? I could track like my progress towards A and B. Data. These are two things that technologists have in abundance. Now, the third thing, what if I could systematize always being in that as if state, regardless of what your circumstances were? Wouldn't that be cool? So that's what I did. I went to work on how to do all of that stuff. And so I came up with this power of three: your intellectual brain, the universal brain, which you connect through your soul. This is your intuition. And then we can call it the artificial brain if you want, because AI is so popular now. But these are all of your systems, your processes, delegating. This is all of the infrastructure that's in place to help you do the things you don't want to do. So in reality, we can actually track divine timing, almost as if we had like a UPS tracker. We can actually see what frequency we are in and ensure we are always in the frequency of the thing that we want to be in, and have a quick list of ways to ensure we get back into that state as soon as we notice that we're not in it. So systematizing the law of attraction. And if you think it's not possible, you're not alone, because Abraham Hicks says that a belief is just a thought that we continue to think. And that's why the law of attraction works so well, and yet not at all for all of us. Because if we believe something to be true, we continue to think it, then the universe brings us that thing, which proves that we're right. And so if we're thinking about the thing that we don't want, then we're proving ourselves right by telling the universe that we want more of it. So anyway, my free gift to all of you is to come dive deep into the how. How do I get myself instantly into the frequency I want to be in? How do I stay in there? And how do I UPS track my divine timing so I know exactly when all of my hopes and dreams are going to come to me, like we're watching it go across the world?